The only bummer is, sadly, a lot of people are writing off the game because it looks like an old game. It looks like a game on the Super Nintendo, which, in my opinion, is amazing. I love Super Nintendo games. Plus, the soundtrack is outstanding. It's the actual soundtrack from the TV show. But people, it's an old-looking game. I'm not gonna watch it. Like, fuck this, man. People are so ignorant, I swear. Just because of how a game looks, the game sucks instantly.
Wake up everyone, how can you sleep at a time like this unless the dreamer is the real you? Listen to your voice, the one that tells you to taste past the tip of your tongue. Leap in the net will appear. I don't wanna wait before the dream is over. I'm gonna make it mine. Yes, I know it. I'm gonna make it mine. Yes, I'll make it all mine. I keep my life on a heavy rotation, requesting that it's lifting you up, up, up and away, and over to a table at the Gratitude Cafe.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, this is kind of the part where you guys can go ahead and place your orders and so on and so forth. We don't have a special selection for the day just yet. We'll have to give that a little bit of time. But this is kind of where you guys get to walk in, get to mingle amongst each other for a little bit before the show actually starts. With that being said, why don't we actually get into the show proper right now? And we'll talk a little bit about what you have coming up. We are here at one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Ninja is a greedy shill, just like me. And my content and my videos are not always the same. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know damn well that Ninja did the right thing under the circumstances. Now, maybe some of you guys don't actually know what the circumstances are. So let me fill you in, since we're at this kind of part where all of you are ordering and you don't really mind listening to my voice. Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja has decided to make the jump over to Mixer. Mixer is a competitor of Twitch. Obviously, it isn't as big, but it has a financial backing that's huge, and it has been gaining traction. If you had to say, it's fair to say that it's definitely within the big four of streaming companies, being Twitch at the very top, obviously. Then you have YouTube streaming. You have Facebook Gaming, which is actually has a pretty good following, especially with guys in the Call of Duty community who seem to do it. And then you have Mixer. Now, for any of you guys who are detractors or fans of detractors, you know that Tevin's over there, so most of you already have accounts. If not, you should make one. You never know, to be honest, but Mixer's a pretty good platform. A lot of people have pointed out, depending on who you guys watch, that a lot of the features that Twitch has is actually because of Mixer. Mixer is the one that actually established some of those things. Now, granted, I've never streamed on Mixer. I think I've only made an account and that's it. I haven't really had a chance to dabble in it. But when you look at the layouts and certain other aspects of Mixer, yes, it does look like it's very possible that Twitch took it from them, or even vice versa. Whatever. But Mixer had made a very, very good move, acquiring Ninja. One of the main, I think, points of it is the fact that Ninja's contract was coming up, which is something no one really talks about, but that's obviously the reason why he left. And his viewership has been weighing a little bit. Not even a little bit. He's down like 30%, I think. His viewership was definitely down. And a lot of his popularity. Don't be wrong, he was still in the top 10 of, most viewed streamers. He was definitely number one for the most subs, but he was weighing, and he knows that. And I think his wife, who is his manager, as well as the team that's behind him, his agency, knows that. So Mixer, he makes the jump over to Mixer. Now, this isn't the first time that the company Mixer has actually poached, if you will, other people from Twitch or even other streaming platforms. This isn't the first time at all. Ninja's just the biggest acquisition and certainly getting the most amount of money. Now, the amount of money that's being thrown around, I'll have to make a separate video on altogether, is large. We're talking, some people are saying in the ballpark of 10, possibly even $15 million over the span of the next 3 years, which is exactly how Mixer sets everything up. It is a guaranteed contract. If, let's say, like I said, I'm hearing between 10 and 15 million. Some people are saying it's actually higher than that. Some people say 10 million was the deal over like 2 or 3 years. Some people are saying he's making $10 million a year. I couldn't tell you. But either which way, it's a guaranteed contract. Just like if you were a pro athlete or anything like that, if you've ever signed a corporate contract, your pay has been already established and whatnot. That's what you're getting. Plus, stocks in the company and certain type of dividends, but we'll get into that in a whole nother time. and for you, Phil, if you don't know what any of that stuff is, look it up. Google's your friend. In any case, he's got a guaranteed contract, meaning that the whole grind for subs, for bits, for cheers, all that's gone. He can literally just focus on the game. He can focus on his profession, which is one of the things that Ninja had said when he left. He said that, hey, I want to go back to my roots. I want to go back to the actual games themselves, which makes sense because Ninja's been trying to clean up his act over the span of the last year, maybe a little bit more. So this transition's a good look. And now that, like I said, the alleviation of all these different pressures are alleviated off him, all he has to do is focus on the game. And now he's the face of a platform which is going to splatter him all over the place. And there is no competition for right now. Now, here's the thing. Acquiring Ninja's supposed to bring in more competition, but for now, he's the man. And he kind of dictates the terms as it pertains to him, not for Microsoft or the platform in general, for the time being. Now that I've kind of gone over Ninja's part, let's talk about what that means for Twitch. Twitch has been on some fuck shit for a minute. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but you guys all know this. Between people getting banned for bullshit, for people not getting banned, and then all the other crap that's going on, it's a good thing that he got out when he did. Now, the repercussions of this is, to be honest with you, minuscule, if anything. Ninja moving is just Ninja moving. There are plenty of people out there butthurt about it for whatever reason. Let them. They weren't in his position. They'll probably never be in his position. So what? But what this does do is for those who have a name, Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, some of these individuals, when their contracts eventually come up, they can look and see what's a good option. Now the question is, with Ninja, how much of his audience is going to move over? And I think this is where that whole, you can get like a free sub from Ninja for like a month or two on Mixer. It's a good look. It's a good way to bring people over. And Microsoft has the money to spend to do that. That might be a good idea. It might be a good incentive, I should say. And that's all guaranteed money to Ninja as well, even though it's more of a promotion to bring people over. Somebody like a Dr. Disrespect could look at it that way. Shroud could look at it that way, as well as others. Tim the Tat Man, just to name a few. Tfue, if he can ever get that shit worked out, whatever the case may be. I've kind of gone over the pros. Guaranteed money. You only focus on the game itself. The platform, the layout is very similar to Twitch. So, those are your incentives. Here's where some of the negative aspects of any contract or any business deal comes into play. For someone like a Dr. Disrespect, he's going to have to tighten some of that up. Meaning that he can't be as fast and loose about it. You know what I'm saying? With his language and so on and so forth. Because if you look at Mixer's kind of guidelines, it's kind of pretty clear cut. That's why the thoughts are getting mad, or slowly but surely getting mad at that whole situation. Because the thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, are coming to the realization that if the big gamers leave, they're kind of screwed. Because they are predators. They predicate on those who follow gamers. Because they look at gamers as no lives that would rather pay women instead of being able to go out and actually talk to them. That's what a thought does. With that being said, some of them are sitting here trying to have the big face about it, but hearing all these thoughts on Twitter coming out and saying, oh, well, is Mixer's dress code like that? That's unfair. It must be someone over there that doesn't like us. That tells me that those are thoughts coming to the realization that, oh shit, if all these big gamers leave, then that's just us. And then they're no different than another cam girl site. Now, am I saying that as a whole? Am I saying that every chick is saying that? No. Am I saying that some of the ones lower on the pegs who aren't in the top 50 well-known thoughts are feeling that way? Yeah, a little bit. And they're trying to get things changed up. It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out in the coming weeks and so on and so forth. I'd like to do a dedicated video, a dedicated broadcast just on some of the people that were hating on Ninja and getting it cut into them a little bit. Now, I'm sure that L of the Day, It's a Gundam, and Memology will already be on that, so those are some of the people that you might see featured. But that should be interesting to see how that plays. So look out for that. It might be like a little bit of a side project. How does that pertain to DSP? It doesn't mean anything to DSP. That doesn't help him nor hurt him, to be honest. He's nothing. He's nothing. He's only on Twitch because of the fact that he chose to be a guinea pig. He chose safety by being exploited. That's it. And I'm not gonna be nice and sugarcoat that shit. That's what happened. So, okay, drinks are all up, so let's go ahead and change over here for a minute. Oh man, don't want to get any pig's blood on the sign or anything. It's all brand new. It's all still pristine. Let's go ahead and take a seat while you guys are getting ready to order your food. He allowed himself to be exploited for safety, for security. He chose that. With that being said, he's kind of just another peon talking. Sorry. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's right. He has the rights to his opinion, and so be it. But he doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. He has screwed himself up so badly on YouTube and on Twitch to an extent that he'll never reach the heights that Ninja did. Ninja has turned what he has into an actual brand. As most of the streamers in the top, 500 on Twitch, they have brands, they have deals, they treat this shit like a brand. Dr. Disrespect, for all the nonsense he does, it helps his brand. It helps the image that he puts out and, in turn, what he profits from. DSP had a brand. He had a brand before most of these guys. And what did he do with it? He was stupid with it. He was ignorant with it. He didn't understand what he had. All he did know is how to what's the word I'm looking for? To predicate on his fan base, just as Twitch ended up doing to him, just as Machinima did to him. That's what happens to a user. They eventually learn how to use themselves. So that's what he is, and that's all he has to really bring to the picture and whatnot. And he'll talk his shit now, but I'm sure he'll change it a little bit later on down the line. If Phil would take a minute to actually look at his brand, and I use that term loosely, and try to revamp it, it could mean something later on. It could mean something later on down the line. Something. But he's already abandoned that. Now he's dependent on his legacy and crowdfunding. Short-term solutions to a much larger problem. So that's my thoughts on that, at least for the time being. And my content and my videos are the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I've already gone over this, but let me just go ahead and do that for posterity's sake, because I can smell my French toast. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil on Twitch is no different than Phil on YouTube, except for the fact that you can see him. And he talks to people in the chat on the basis of getting money. That's it. If you took away the face cam and you took away him actually talking to the chat, it's his old YouTube videos from back in the 2009, 2010, 2011. It's the exact same thing. That's why his content is boring, because one, he can't play it fast and loose like he used to be able to do back in early YouTube. He just can't. He knows he can't do that. So now he's boring, and now he's trying to dumb his shit down. Also, I would have to throw this out there just because it's important, that a lot of the reason why Phil is boring as he is because he's trying to deter people from going over his content, which isn't going to help him. He's only going to hurt himself. But we can touch on that later on down the line. I'm sure plenty of other people have spoken on it. But and he's only going to hurt himself. This is what happens when you're very short-minded, and when you're very bad at thinking about a situation or announcing a situation, is that you think, okay, how do I get these detractors off my back? How do I get them? Okay, I'll make myself as mundane as possible. And then they'll stop. And then when they stop, I can go back to being me again, and then everything will be good. Idiot, they'll just wait you out. They'll just wait you out. So you're wasting time doing that. And more importantly, you're killing the very few people that you have still there. And they're not going to keep going back and forth for you. And this goes back to the overall problem where if Twitch don't work out, which eventually he'll get himself kicked off, where else can he go? Is he going to go to Mixer after talking all that shit? He can. until people start going ahead and tweeting at Mixer, hey, you see here, hi at Mixer, how you doing? I just wanted to go ahead and say congratulations on your newest acquisition being Darkside Phil. Granted, you guys didn't pay for him, he went over there because he had no choice. Right here is a compilation of different times he spoke about your platform. I thought you just want to know. So here's what happens then. A few people end up checking that out and they're like, oh shit, this is gonna be funny. And they're gonna pass it around Mixer and some of the people in the inner workings. Now, is anybody gonna sit there and have a vendetta over that shit and be like, man, fuck this guy? No, but you know what's gonna happen? People are gonna go ahead and look him up. And then people are gonna look at all the nonsense he's done over the years and be like, oh, well, we don't have to protect this guy. Let's see if he can prove his worth. Let's make him work for it. Because that's what hardworking people do. They tend to want to be around people who work harder, work harder, or work smarter. Phil don't know how to do any of those things. So they don't have to give him any special privileges. So before Phil gets a chance to talk to someone and be, oh, my name's Darkside Phil, I've been on YouTube for 11 years, this, that, and the third, I deserve certain types of accommodations, and try to sit there and get his detractor repellent up, someone will beat him to the punch and let him know all of that. And someone will read his email, someone will probably chuckle at it, and they're going to be like, fuck him, let him sink or let him swim. He's, as far as I'm concerned, he bacon. Either he fry or he don't. He either fries or he burns. End of story. So wait and see what happens with that. But his content is no different than what it's been. It's just changed a little bit. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, isn't a transition. That's not him adapting to his situation and moving on. That's the same lazy bullshit that he'd already given people for over a decade. Nothing different. Anyway, it's here. Let's go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report. This is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet, but I know it's coming though. I know it's coming and whatnot. And I already got my coffee in hand as you do. So we can certainly go ahead and start the day while you guys watch me work.
Well, I don't wanna break before the tour is over. I'm gonna make it fun.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
One can hope, Cat. One can hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Ninja's a greedy shill just like me. And my content and my videos are not always the same. So much piggy lies. Here we go.
Yesterday was a very eventful day. We hit the sub goal for the month of July thanks to a few very generous parties.
70 subscriptions in one day, which was pretty damn crazy when you really think about it. That's amazing.
YouTube, completely out of their fucking minds, with multiple things, one of which I talked about publicly on Twitter, one of which I didn't even talk about, and I'll talk about a little bit on pre-stream today. First of all, as you guys know, yesterday I finished up my playthrough of Wolfenstein Youngblood. And you know, I was highly critical of the game, let's be honest. Even though I did have fun playing it, I felt that the game wasn't very good overall compared to other Wolfenstein games. So I posted up my conclusion of the playthrough, as usual, on YouTube. And I get a notification overnight, late last night, oh, part 10 of the playthrough, just part 10, has been identified on YouTube as a violation of our scamming policies.
That's funny as shit. First things first, I think only like 2 or 3 people actually kicked up the money for the... It might have been 2 or 3 people. It could have been less. But I think 2 or 3 people came through to actually come through with the sub goal. So yet again, as I've told you, as other people have told you, the herd is slowly but surely thinning out, and it's starting to get to a dozen people, a little more, a little less, that's forced to carry the weight. And this is what eventually he's going to get stuck with. Only a dozen people watching, you know what I mean, who are real supporters, and everybody else just kind of looking at with a morbid, curious fascination, and that's going to be it. And then the majority of his money is going to come from where? It's not going to come on stream, because how is someone going to give him, for example, like Planet Jeff, is going to end up giving X amount of money, you know what I'm saying, to him on stream, and then you're going to probably ask him to give you money behind the scenes too? Or is he still waiting for another Emerald 7 to show up, or another King Tut, or anybody? Where's Golden Colts at? He used to give away big money. He doesn't do that as much anymore. He's slowly but surely thinning the herd out. And you don't even realize it because he's a fucking moron. But that's neither here nor there. Now, as it pertains to Wolfenstein Youngblood, I heard a lot of people didn't like it. I personally didn't play it, nor have I watched anybody play it yet, but I heard a lot of people just didn't like it. So all he's doing is playing off of what Twitter already has to say, giving it his spin so he seems like he's in the in crowd. Which is funny, because didn't Phil always tell us that you should be an independent thinker? And you need to kind of think and react for yourself, and yet he depends on what people say on Twitter to determine whether games are good enough to play or not, and he almost exclusively chooses to go along with the hive mind mentality, if you want to call it that, on Twitter, whether games are good or bad or not. Huh. Okay.
Oh my god!
That's great. Oh, and videos being demonetized for whatever reason, like spam, it's just karma. That's the way I look at it.
Oh my god!
That this video basically is very deceptive in what it is. It says it's one thing, but it's not. It's something else. And it could be maybe trying to get someone to sign up for a scam website or a gambling website. Or it says it's one kind of video, you click on it and it's not, it's another kind of video. It could even have voter fraud in it. You're trying to defraud voters to go do something that they shouldn't do.
Wow, Phil's a scammer. He's a piece of underhanded shit. He's been lying to his viewers and fans for so long. And basically saying that, you know, he was raising money for taxes, but all that money obviously went to pay for this wedding that he didn't tell us about, and he scammed us, and no one would have ever contributed if he had said it was for a wedding instead of something important like taxes, and this is fucked up, and he's really screwed the pooch.
I told you, that wedding situation is what's going to lead to whatever comes next. He has the consequences of that secret wedding it runs so deep. It runs so deep, he can't fathom the consequences that are going to come from that. We're not done with that. You know what I mean? We're not done. Like, you got to understand that a lot of people felt betrayed when he sat there and did that. You know what I'm saying? You told them April 1st you can't get married. Wedding license is produced on the 8th, and they get married on the 10th. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. And this is what happens when you have a person who lives almost exclusively, if not strictly, on impulse and nothing else. And he expects these people to be serfs. He expects them to be mindless drones to go ahead and go along with everything. You can't get mad because your thinking should be in line with my thinking. And if you think anything outside of those lines, get the fuck out.
So this video has been removed from YouTube, and you are going to get in trouble with our community guidelines. And I'm reading this thing, I'm like, what a bunch of fucking idiots. You know, that's the first thing in my mind. I'm just so tired of YouTube. What a bunch of fucking lame brain, no-load idiots.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
I have been doing gameplay videos on Dspgaming on YouTube for 10 fucking years. Alright? Oh, I take it back. 9.5 years, okay? 9.5 years. Something like 40 to 50,000 gameplay videos uploaded to the goddamn channel. All of them have always had the same format, the same style, the same commentary, the titling that I've been doing since like 2013 or something like that. You know.
And you don't see that being a problem? Just saying.
It's pretty obvious if anyone is going to be flagged for a scam, it's not someone who's been doing this for fucking 10 fucking years. Alright? You know, okay, you know, a new website pops up with deceptive practices or whatever. You gotta be idiotic. And I can tell you right now, The process is 100% automated. There's no fucking way that this was legit, that a human looked at this and said, this gameplay video is deceptive. It's not really a gameplay video. It's something else. And, you know, Phil is really lying about this, and we got to get this channel in trouble for it. Okay, so essentially, what this tells me is YouTube is up to their old fucking stupid tricks, where things just get auto-flagged for stupid shit, and every once in a while, garbage comes through. So I immediately, of course, you know, responded to this and said, absolutely not, I'm disputing this, you guys are stupid. I literally said in the message, this is a ridiculous, erroneous system. I've been around for 10 years and I want this reversed immediately because you don't know what the hell you're doing. I said that right in my message to them. And so they did, overnight. But it's just so stupid that they're so dumb. That literally, again, you know no human reviewed that. Unless it's the dumbest human ever. I mean, do you really think Google's paying stupid assholes to review videos? I doubt it. It's probably just a fucking robot. It doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. Telling me that a gameplay video is a scam. Fuck off.
That's funny. Now, here's the thing. It's not that let's just say that the video itself isn't a scam, but how the video is, what's the word I'm looking for? How the videos are uploaded would be considered scam or spam, if you will. I could see that. And if let's say, for example, it's kind of word associated. When you listen to him talk, begging for cheers, bits, subs, help me with my taxes, this, that, and the third, I'm not sure if any of that has any footing in any of that. But since YouTube's algorithm does pick up on certain phrases and so on and so forth, especially over a period of time, and that's what he does on every pre-stream, and who knows what he was saying in part 10, if he was like, hey guys, I really need you guys to tip because, you know, I really need it for my taxes, or so on and so forth, I could see how the system might pick some of that up. That's just me, though. That's just my first thoughts on it. It could have been that. It most certainly could have been that. I mean, you're talking about someone who sat there and did that shit for over almost a decade, begging for money through playthroughs and saying that how he's down on his luck, making exclusive videos talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if the algorithm eventually starts picking some of that shit up. So, yet again, it's karma.
Oh, you're gonna get salt. It's even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
So, it pisses me off. So, anyway, the good news is, it took overnight, but it did get cleared up, but it just proves how stupid their system is, that it doesn't work. Another broken system. Not only is their copyright system completely broken, their content ID system is completely broken, then this is completely broken too. Okay?
You don't bite the hand that feeds you, I guess is what you say, but at the same time, when someone bites me, I'm gonna bite back.
Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Why'd you just go to bite mommy? Wow. Alright, so you see what pigs can do.
I said, guess what? I think it's finally time that DSP bites back a little bit.
So anyway, as all that was happening, I get a fucking content ID match, of all things, on my Black Ops 4 Blackout video from last night. That's right, the match that I won. Okay, guys, remember I won that match last night in Blackout? Well, guess what? When you win now, because of the new...
That's kind of deceptive, too, because he won a match. It wasn't like he only played one match. That's just my own personal opinion. I'm just nitpicking.
Mode, what's it called? Apocalypse Z or whatever. They have a new victory song that it plays. It's actually a rock song with lyrics and everything. Oh, it flagged the video for content ID match for the song, so we're taking all your ad revenue away.
Now, wait a second. One, it's only one video. Two, hasn't this idiot told us in the past that he has, well, and as he said there, he has 50, 60, 70,000 videos. If a couple of them get hit, it's no big deal. Hasn't he said something, hasn't he said that, or hasn't he said something similar to that in the past? Now, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, he's not catching any real views off some of his newer shit, so who cares? You know what I mean? If anything, it's just a gold mine for detractors, gold dust, if you will. Other than that, no one cares. No one's learning anything from it. If you want to see really good camping, watch Wings. Watch Wings' old stuff. So, yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not like his new material is bringing any real views. He's not putting up 10, 15, 20,000 views per video. Something that would be worth complaining about. He averages like 1,500 to 2,000. Maybe 3 on a good day. Doesn't seem like very much.
I can't stop laughing.
So I immediately disputed that too. I said, fuck off. I didn't say fuck off. I said, your system doesn't work. This is a gameplay video. This guy who has a song in the game has no rights to my video. Remove this immediately. So, now I'm waiting for an answer on that. Some people notified me on my stream this morning that Ninja has moved exclusively to Mixer. He made a big announcement video about it today that he's quitting Twitch. He's not going to do any more streams on Twitch. He's exclusively moving over to Mixer to stream, and he wants all his viewers to move over to him because apparently he feels Twitch's guidelines and rules are too restrictive on his streaming.
Bullshit.
I think he left really more for the environment more than the guidelines and services. And it wouldn't even be restrictive. It's the fact that, to be honest with you, the people on it are starting to slowly but surely kill the site. So a lot of these individuals who are bitching and complaining, like Gross Gore, for example. I mean, how many times has that dude gotten kicked off the site? I think he's gotten suspended 3 times, or he's gotten banned 3 times. All of it for harassment. Harassment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stupid, silly crap that he didn't need to do. How did he go from being, was he League of Legends? I think it was like League of Legends. How did you go from being one of the best League of Legends players out there to being just another jerk off that complains about dumb shit? Like, you kind of pissed all your shit away. Well, what's that other guy's name? Tevin likes watching him a lot. Dellard, or is it Dellard? Delor, whatever. Same shit. That dude. There's a lot of fucked up things with that guy, but that dude is insanely talented at first-person shooters. Like, the dude is insane. This dude used to be on a pro team. You know what I mean? He was making, well, at least I heard he was making good money, and he was on the way to making great money. And then he fucked off, decided to go on an N-word tantrum and shit, and fucked off and lost everything. Like, I mean, and then he was always a spurg before that, but it is what it is. Like, you guys can find compilations of that shit if you really want to see it. That shit's fucking insane that somebody would go off on the hook like that with all the money that he had going on, all the sponsorships and everything, that he would just fuck all that off because he was mad at one dude who sniped his ass. Fucking insane. Either which way. The environment's just toxic. It's toxic as shit. And there's a lot of shit that goes on over there that should get disciplined and it don't. And a lot of the stuff that goes by is starting to slowly but surely creep up into the media. So when the media sees that shit, they're like, well, this isn't a good look. So this is almost like ad-apocalypse for YouTube, except for the fact that Twitch can basically keep itself afloat because of its association with Amazon. But after a while, you can't cover all the shit up. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. And then when you get into like how the ban processes work, I won't go into it fully here. Like I said, I'll think about doing another video on it. Like, that shit's broken up into teams. So for example, the way Phil, at least this is just my theory, it's only a partial theory. The way Phil was able to get Tevin, Tex, and Bill Purnell knocked off is he has whoever his PO officer is, right? Whoever it is that fucking handles his shit. He had everybody he knew, if I had to guess, go directly to this person. This person's part of this team, right? Now, let's say they can't get a hold of that one person. Fair enough. This person's part of a team that's associated and assigned some of these cases. So all these people who spam Tevin, for example, I'll use Tevin as the main one, praise be, they kept spamming everybody at this team because Phil gave them the contact information. So then all Phil had to do was come in later on down the line once enough complaints came through, or at least until he was feeling comfortable, and did the coup de grace. And that's essentially how he got them knocked off. At least that's the way I'm thinking. Now, granted, a little bit more goes into it than that. I'll try to explain that at a later time, because I'm still looking it up. But I think that's how he ended up doing it. And then, when you look at what happened with Bill and Tex, they got knocked off for the way their names are. That's what ended up getting those two guys knocked off. And we still don't know what ended up, getting Tevin bumped off. Tevin either hasn't told us, or he doesn't know himself. It's ridiculous. And for what, Phil? You got all three of these guys taken off for 2 years, I think it's been, something like that. I would assume by the 3-year point, they're going to get the low-tier God treatment and be invited back on. So, what's the point? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is how petty he is. And then, if you look at the overall problems, when these individuals come back, I should say, is most of the muscle that he had that did that work, they're not even there no more. So then what's he going to do? Now, I would assume at least a few people who participated in that gay ops, they must be still over there on his side. But they have to know that the same tactic's not going to work. I don't know. I kind of went on a tangent, but that's my thoughts. I think Ninja did the best thing he had to do for his brand at that time. There's no point in going down with the ship. And as it pertains to Ninja's channel, his channel's still there. Well, his channel is still there, but he lost his check mark or his verification. That happened quick, but that's another story in itself. But his content is still on the platform. It's not like he asked for them to take the channel down with it. He could have, but he didn't. His channel's still there. All of his archives and his VODs are still there. Phil don't have any of his archives up. He takes those things down almost immediately.
That's all I have to say is bullshit.
Ninja right now, on Twitch, even though he's not the biggest Twitch streamer anymore, and if you guys have been following, you would know this probably for the past 6 to 8 months, that he's actually been losing traction and popularity on Twitch significantly, that other Twitch streamers, especially those who play Fortnite, have been getting a lot more viewership and attention than he's been. So basically, for the last year, he's been on Cloud9, the biggest guy, the top guy, mainstream streamer. He's been, ESPN covering him and everything. All of a sudden starts losing traction and popularity. What do? Right? Well, take a payday, right? And basically move to a format where you're the big fish in a small pond. Because for those of you, number one, who don't even know about Mixer, Mixer is the streaming service exclusively owned by Microsoft. They've been struggling for 2 years to try to get people onto their format. Don't get me wrong, there are people who use Mixer.
Oh shit. Hello.
Now, let me cut in since we're making that happen. Struggling, I wouldn't say. I mean, like I said, have they gained the traction that they wanted? No, but then again, none of us know exactly what the marketing scheme is or whatever their marketing goals are. You know what I'm saying? It's a slow climb to the top. You know what I mean? And then it's then that's when shit gets kind of devastating once you get there. So that's the first thing. As it pertains to his Ninja's popularity and so on and so forth, we've already talked about that. You know what I mean? I think he made a business move. And you want to know why he made that business move, ladies and gentlemen? And the reason why Phil thinks it's stupid or it's bullshit or whatever? Because Ninja had options. Phil don't. Phil is stuck where he's at. He's been like that since he got on YouTube. The moment he screwed himself out of his AdSense account, he's been screwed. And then he went over the blip, screwed himself out of that, comes back over to YouTube, has to go ahead and suck off somebody else to get himself into a safety net over there on Machinima, and he's been stuck on Machinima ever since. And you want to know why that was? Because he had no options. He only went to Twitch because he heard that there was going to be money over there. You know what I mean? And then he ended up fucking off of that because he couldn't stream at a bit rate that he probably wasn't going to be able to keep up anyway and whatnot. His bit rate was too damn high. And they told him to lower it. And he got butthurt because other people could do it and he couldn't. So he ends up leaving, going to YouTube, only perpetuates even more hate against him for that, ends up screwing himself out of his Machinima deal, ends up going back to Twitch. That's pretty much the sum up of it. He didn't have a lot of options, at least not free-flowing options. A lot of the reason why he makes the moves that he does is because he has no choice. He's forced to do it. He's forced to do it. Ninja's not forced to do anything. He can stay on the platform. He would probably keep a certain level of popularity, or the brand goes stagnant. And because it is a brand, he needs as much exposure on himself as possible. He's not going to get it over there on Twitch. I mean, shit, most of the gamers aren't going to. Eventually, the Twitch thoughts are going to end up beating him out, or those who go for these crazy-ass antics and don't ever get banned. On top of the porn, because, the porn is definitely getting a boost over there. It's what it comes down to. Now, is Twitch probably upset at this, at him not re-signing that contract? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. But at the same time, he has to do what's best for himself. That isn't turning your back on the brand. That's how or on the business, that's you expanding your brand. That's business. And this is where I think we come to a bit of a crossroads when it comes to how people handle themselves on Twitch. You're playing video games, yeah? But you as a personality, as an individual, you're a business and you're representing your own brand. And this is what a brand move is. And what it also does in the long term is a lot of these people who can't get a look on Twitch, who can't get verified, who can't get subbed, Now they have another place with a big star who now opens the doors for that to happen for them. Are they going to get the big contracts? No. But they can probably get verified. They can probably get subbed. And when they leave, right, Twitch ain't going to give a shit. Twitch probably won't even touch their channels. They'll probably leave it right there. So they have an option to go back later on. Ninja himself in a couple years could go back. That's what it's like to have options. Phil don't understand that. And that's why he talks out of his ass like this. And just because something isn't the biggest platform compared to other things, just because it's not the biggest doesn't mean it's not the best option. Come on, Phil, you know what it's like to have minuscule size. Work with what you got.
Tevin, hello.
In essence, those who stream on Mixer are usually people who don't or can't stream on Twitch. Twitch is and remains the top premier platform for game streaming, period. It's the best place to stream.
Twitch loves me and my streams, and the answer is this. Twitch TV looks for streamers who are going to constantly be begging for money.
They have many different opportunities to make money and monetize, whether it's the partnership program, whether it's, you know, the bits program, whether it's just accepting crowdfunding from your audience via tips and the like, whether you get sponsorship opportunities for products or sponsorship opportunities to play games. There's a million ways to make money on Twitch, okay?
So there's a million ways to make money on Twitch, yet you can't figure out how to do any of them. Or you've already screwed those opportunities up. Like, for example, the bounty system. It is what it is. That is what that is. Cheers, subs, bits, all that nonsense. He tried to do fundraisers off some of that stuff and screwed himself over because he got too greedy, and instead of spacing it out, he wanted to do it month after month after month. What else, Phil? Now you're doing sub goals now? Now you're trying to do retrospective streams and shit to try to bring more people in. Now you're saying crowdfunding, which is nothing more than just digital panhandling. The situation's bigger than money. But yet again, this is someone who's looking at the short term. And kind of like Wings. Wings says he doesn't have any popularity anymore. He's just trying to cash in on what he has left. DSP's been doing that.
Mixer is Microsoft's attempt to do the same exact thing and play catch-up.
And the bottom line is, a lot of people have given Twitch flack over the last couple of years, ever since they basically made their guidelines way more restrictive. I personally was affected by this. If you guys remember last year, my channel got in trouble here on Twitch a couple times for things that I said and did on stream. I got punished and got suspended a couple times. It never was that bad. It was, you know, for the most part, a few days. I think the longest.
But weren't you the one running to YouTube crying and complaining? Weren't you the one who activated the basically YouTube's version of bits and cheers and whatnot, so you could get your little shekels and whatnot while you were sucking off the guys over there at Twitch to let you back on? It wasn't, so it's not a big deal now, but it was certainly a big deal when it happened to you. Remember that? And you remember how this was unjustly? You remember how you said, I looked down and it said my stream was offline, and these guys should have contacted me. They should have never just cut my stream off like that. They should have contacted me first and told me that they were going to cut my stream off. Remember that? And then allegedly, whoever it was that was helping you actually apologized to you for doing that, when that's kind of the norm over there on Twitch. Okay.
Had was like 2 days where I couldn't stream. In reality, it wasn't a big deal because I already had days scheduled off then anyway. Because I've done nothing wrong, you know?
But yeah, you know, I was negatively affected by...
You weren't negatively affected. You shouldn't have been doing that shit in the first place. Someone came into your stream and said something, you went over their profile picture, acted like you never done that before, but you have. And you made fun of the person, what the person looked like. And then turned around and said, that shouldn't have been a big deal because people make fun of how I look all the fucking time. Who has done that on their Twitch stream that you can go ahead and find a VOD for to prove that? I'll wait.
Okay? I think effectively what a lot of people are mad about on Twitch is it seems like people are saying it's not equal treatment, that they feel that there's certain people who get away with stuff and other people don't, and that there's certain streamers who have done pretty heinous things, yet they're still on Twitch, while others do similarly heinous things and are banned immediately. I don't know. Listen, the thing is, I don't
wow, look at him tightrope this shit.
Follow other Twitch streamers. I only hear what I hear from, like, popular, you know, social media, or what you guys tell me on stream, so I couldn't cite cases of, direct things that have been happening on Twitch or anything like that, okay? Ninja has made a ridiculous amount of money on Twitch.
I mean, I'll be honest, just like any other normal human, yes, am I jealous of certain people and people who are successful and whatever? Of course I am. Of course I'm going to have jealousy. That's a natural human emotion for those who have more than you. You're always going to have that natural kind of jealousy of those who maybe have, been more successful or things like that.
Insane amount of money. Twitch is what made Ninja. Alright? That's the reason he got his popularity, is because he had this format to stream on. He's now saying, all of a sudden, after making all this money on Twitch, oh, it's too restrictive for me, I've got to go to a different streaming service. Bullshit. This is complete bullshit. Any of us who are in the business will tell you, this is bullshit. You don't go from the place where you can make the most money to a place where you make less money. It just doesn't happen. Alright?
No, yet again, you're an idiot because you only listen to one or two posts that you saw on Twitter, and that's it. You probably didn't even go into that thread and look further down that Twitch chain and see what people are really saying about it. First off, Phil, not everybody's going to sit there and just panhandle like you all day. That's just not a thing. And he doesn't need the stress of that. No one really does. He's going to guaranteed money. Guaranteed money. So let's look at it this way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at it this way. Would you rather have the potential to make $15 million somewhere over 3 years? The potential to make $3 million over 15 years. Or go somewhere where you're guaranteed to get 10 million over the span of that year. And go off, have more time to engage in sponsorships, have more time for your family, your friends. You have more freedom to where you're not basically lock and key to your stream every day. You have your guaranteed money, you have your schedule open up a little bit more. That's more business meetings, that's more sponsorship deals, that's more business opportunities, that's more time to spend time with your friends and family. You have freed yourself up in a way that you didn't have on the platform you were before. Let's reword that. Now you spend a number of years working extremely hard to build your name and build your brand to where it is. Now you're thinking smarter. Which one would we rather do, ladies and gentlemen? The potential of $15 million over the span of 3 years, or guaranteed 10 with options to make even more on top of that, but 10 million guaranteed. And Phil don't see that. And since those people over there with Phil are kids, disabled, or yes men, they don't get it either. And even the ones who are disabled probably can make that out. But they're just so used to listening to Phil and his dumb shit that they don't know. This is what it is. This is somebody perpetuating ignorance blatantly to fit his narrative. Talking about in the business. How the fuck do other people know more about the business than you do and they don't even do what you do? How does that work? DSP News.
What really is happening behind the scenes, and again, this is all subjective, this is my opinion on things that I know from the industry and my own take on it, is that he was offered a ginormous payday by Microsoft and Mixer to move over exclusively to their service. And he's been looking at his own performance over the last year and seeing that his attention on Twitch is dwindling. That there are other Twitch streamers doing the same stuff he's been doing, getting more attention, making more money, and becoming more popular. And he's realized...
Yeah, just like with you on YouTube. The only difference is he ain't bitching and complaining about it. He can actually go off and do something about it. You can't. You couldn't then, you can't do it now.
That, oh crap, I need to do something to stay on top. So what do you do when you're no longer
This is him bringing ego into it. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, it's bigger than this. But, alright, let's hear the pig out.
Guy, you move somewhere where you're the top guy. So for him, take the payday from Microsoft, go exclusively stream on Mixer, make tons of money doing it, because it's a payday for him, and now have the ability to brag that he's now the top guy again, when he couldn't do that here on Twitch anymore. Okay? You know, that's the bottom line.
I just care about money. I just can't help it.
Yeah, and this is the thing a lot of people are saying, why would he do this, right? Why would he move from Twitch to Mixer? It doesn't make sense because he has thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers that are consistent income for him on Twitch. It doesn't make sense. The answer is, you're right. And that's why I'm telling you guys, it's not what he's saying. He's saying, oh, I'm leaving Twitch and coming to Mixer because Twitch is too restricted. It's like, dude, you're getting from estimates, this is just estimates of what people are saying, he makes about $500,000 a month on Twitch. Now, that's an estimate, okay? That's a big estimate. It could be completely wrong. Oh, I'm going to give all that up and quit that partnership program to start over on a new site? Do you really think he's taking that risk because, oh, I don't like how strict Twitch is? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Like, I mean, talk about greed.
You're out of your mind. That's just stupidity to even believe that. I mean,
and Snort Burnell's right. Because he's basing it off money, because other people are basing it off popularity and whatnot, and putting him up against, like, Tfue, for example. Like, Tfue's been killing it a lot lately. And Dr. Disrespect's putting himself back into the position. Shroud is basically has been moving up in the ranks. Tim the Tatman has put himself into that stratosphere, into those talks. You have people looking at it from a very narrow perspective, and none of them can see the big picture. And the reason why is because none of them are in that position. Neither am I. But at the same time, I got a better understanding of it because I've watched people, right, and I listen to people who understand the business because, one, they're actually in the business. Like, they really know what's going on. They're not these people here. Like, let's be fucking honest, okay? Now I'm starting to feel a certain type of way about it. Phil's a goddamn employee. All these people are employees, right? If you're not in the top 500 on Twitch, you're a fucking employee. I'm sorry, but that's what you are. You're an employee. With that being said, how are you going to ask employees how the business works when they only know what they know on their level? He has no idea, absolutely no idea how to conduct his own business on YouTube or Twitch. But then he's going to sit here and, like I said, he can have his opinion. Everybody has their opinion. But he can sit here and propagate that, oh, he's doing it for arrogance. He's doing it for this and that. Some of the very same reasons that Phil did things back in the day. So you kind of see the tie in there. But he's doing all this for arrogance and whatnot. He's not looking at what's going on in the long term. He's just trying to keep his popularity up so he can still be the top guy in gaming. He's probably always going to be considered the face of gaming in some way, shape, or form. He has broken the barrier in such a way to where I mean, even though it's kind of silly that he was on ESPN, but it's whatever. Eventually, one of those big esports teams will eventually get on there. I assume one of the Korean teams, because they're godlike at Dota and other shit. But anyway, either way, eventually he ended up breaking those barriers. He's opening up things for the wider audience, if you will. Ninja is bigger than just a streamer. Yet again, he's a brand. So when you hear some of these people coming out and saying, oh, he's an asshole for doing this, he's an asshole for doing that, you guys don't know what his household is like. You don't know what his business teams are telling him, what his PR teams and all that. You want to know why? Because none of you guys have none of that. None of you guys have PR teams. None of you guys have managers. You're employees. Sit there, be good little drones, and get to work. And get to work. Don't worry about what the bigger guys are doing. Don't worry about what the bigger moves that are being made. Because that ain't your place for that anyway. Now, granted, yet again, I'm being a hypocrite with this shit. King of hypocrisy. You guys can have your opinions on it. But what Phil is propagating is downright bullshit. It's downright bullshit from someone who says, I'm in the business. I understand how this works. Why can't he grow? Why can't he get featured on the front page when he wasn't being used as a guinea pig? Why hasn't he broken the 1,000 sub mark consistently and consecutively over the last 6 to 8 months? He's talking about money. He's talking about opportunities in a stratosphere he'll never make it to. Ever. And allegedly, he tries so goddamn hard. So how are people supposed to take you seriously just based off that? You do this for a living and you beg for money all day. You talk about all the different opportunities of all the opportunities that Twitch can provide a person, but yet you don't have any of them. You're at the bare minimum, begging for bits. He begs for bits and pennies, and he's gonna tell Ninja what he's doing is wrong, and it's all for his ego and nothing else. Oh, and these other guys are overtaking him, so he had no choice because that was the only way he was going to stay popular. This, that, and the third. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that now. If Ninja falls off tomorrow, hopefully he saves his money, I don't know. he's still going to be in a better situation than Phil is. Phil will have to literally beg for the rest of his life. That 10-year, 15-year plan he was talking about, getting, he told his mother about, that he ain't snorted up to his mom, bullshit. He can't do nothing else. He's stuck doing what he's doing, period, and he'll never escape. And he knows it. And he knows it. Some of those other people on Twitch talking out hot shit, same thing. If they're not going to be selling their bodies, or if they're not going to go out there and do Ice Poseidon antic shit that's going to get them arrested and get all their shit fucked up, you're going to be sitting there playing the same tired-ass games over and over again and never be able to do anything else. You've been out of the job field too long. You ain't fucked yourself up on the internet so good that you won't be able to do anything outside the internet. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep sitting here and treating this shit like you think this is so inclusive, right? That you guys understand how the biz works. When all you guys are nothing more than worker bees. There are real people out here making real moves, making stuff really happen. And all of you guys are nothing, and most of you, I should say, are nothing more than employees. Can't figure it out. That's why all the top guys are sitting there, really contemplating, because if you've ever seen some of the videos that are coming out about some of these bigger guys commenting on the situation, there is more understanding in the fact that, hey, I wish Ninja the best. Best of luck to him. Hopefully it works out. There is more understanding in that statement right there than any of you guys will understand. Let me break that down briefly. One, when you say, okay, congratulations to Ninja, I wish him the best. That's, first off, just being a generous individual and saying, I wish Ninja the best. What it also means is, I'm going to watch Ninja while he's over there. I'm going to watch and see how that platform molds around Ninja. I want to see what Ninja can do and what he can't do. I'm going to have, these people are going to reach out to me anyway, if you're a Dr. Disrespect or a Shroud or something like that. They're going to end up reaching out to them anyway. And once they get an idea of how things are going to work and how aggressive, if Mixer decides to be aggressive and really try to bring more people in, is when people come to the decision, as I said earlier, do we go for guaranteed money with better options, with better openings, and with more time doing what you want to do instead of slaving over here at Twitch? Or do you go ahead and stay with what potential money you can make and be stressed the fuck out and end up blowing a gasket and saying some dumb shit that you don't want to say? Which ones? When you look at the bigger picture, that's what it comes down to. Now, for anybody out there who streams on Twitch and whatnot, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from with that. But in truth, that's what that is. If you're thinking this way, you're an employee. You're not looking at yourself as a brand. And that doesn't only resort itself to Twitch. That's YouTube too. You should consider what you're doing as a brand if you're really trying to take this seriously, even if you're taking it semi-seriously. Whether you believe it or not, Almighty Tevin, that's a brand. LSB is a brand. Dark Dave Mirrors is a brand. Snort Burnell is a brand. Mighty D is a brand. Fucking Low Tier God is a brand. You may not like it, but it's a brand. And if you want a good example of that, look at Monday Matt. And look at how he ain't fucked off everything that he had. That's what happens when you sit there and let other people talk you into a position based off your sub count. Closed-minded thinking like what Phil's doing. That's where it gets you. Look at Review Tech USA. He's a brand. You may not like it, but he's a brand. He's a brand. And when you take your bullshit ego out of this shit and stay focused and really put your best foot forward to expand, you understand what that means. You understand the contracts that come to you. You understand the sponsorship deals that can come to you. And that's built over time. Most people don't build that up overnight. All right, let me take a breather.
You would have to be a complete moron to think that someone would go from a place where you're making ridiculous, dirty, fuck you levels of money, right, and leave that to go somewhere else and potentially make ridiculously less money, especially those first few months, until he's established on Mixer, without taking some kind of a giant payout in order to do it, all right? He's taking a big payday. Philip Smelly Chair has subscribed to the channel.
Like, seriously, I'm happy I got this chair for free. If I had paid, like, $200-300 for this fucking chair, I'd be so disappointed. I'd be like, man...
Now you're hearing this fat pig talk all that nonsense. What happens if another brand comes across this video and they hear this? How do you think they're gonna... What are their thoughts on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going to be their thought process hearing this idiot talking about another brand? And if he's pissed off, what's he going to do when he ends up leaving? And that's Phil Burnell to a T. When he's in bed with you, everything. Well, I don't know. From what Panda told me, that wasn't the case. But and from what Cat's been whispering in the gym, that definitely ain't the case. But anyway, when he's in bed with you, it's all bubblegum and fucking Hallmark cards and shit. But as soon as you leave him, which is inevitably what's going to happen, or you kick him out, he's talking shit about you all day. These are one of the things that hurt him in brand deals. And he's been doing that for a long ass time. He can sit there and sit around the caveat, or sit behind the caveat of being real. But what it is being irresponsible.
This is like not worth it at all.
All right, I'm honestly feeling pretty positive for the future. You guys have been very supportive recently. Like yesterday, hitting the subs goal was completely unexpected. I didn't think at all that I was going to hit the subs goal, and then I did. And I was like, holy shit, that was such a positive surprise. So, I hope that things can keep going well in that regard, and, this month could be a very fun and positive month. We'll see.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now. Really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more. This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. Now, I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too.
Big Sloppy Meat just cheered, and he says, I'm a practicing otolaryngologist, and judging from the amount of inflection in your voice, you may have a large amount of fluid in your vocal cords. Well, there you go. That sounds amazing. Thanks for telling me. Or it could just be that I'm choking on gunk every fucking day, which I've been doing, right?
Oh.
Ben Boxer, tip me $1 and says, because you have so many negative people hating on you for no reason, does that make you the Nickelback of Twitch? I don't understand why people seem to hate their band. I mean, I just don't like their music. I don't know about, basically, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't say that. Because here's why. People don't like Nickelback because all their songs sound exactly the same.
That's like me, right? That's like me.
And even the songs that are like, okay, this is the popular song, isn't very good in my opinion. I could tell you 2 or 3 songs of theirs that sound exactly the same, and they just redo the same thing over and over, and I don't like their music. I never did. I thought that it was shitty that they played it so much on the radio to begin with. Alright? No one...
Okay, I don't listen to Nickelback, so I don't have a comment on that. But I will say that, given how Phil has conducted himself, talking about he's unchanged, he's very consistent, he's just the same way he was when he started, it kind of wraps itself up, don't it? It kind of ties itself in, right? It's pretty ironic, you know what I mean? As Tevin would say, Shawn Michaels meme, it kind of works itself pretty well there, if you think about it. It ties in very, very well. For someone who, and actually, let me make another point. When he talks about how even some of his best stuff, when those retrospective streams come up, why doesn't he run to some of his best stuff? He only runs to the stuff that he wants to watch, reminiscing about John and Howard in the good old days. Why doesn't he go to the videos that have crazy views and go over those? Oh, he don't want to do that because they're not that good. They're not that good. And when someone asked him recently, I went over that broadcast where they were like, would he do like a retro playthrough going back at it with the camera like he used to? Oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that. I've evolved past that. I've expanded past that. And it wasn't very good back then. Think about it.
Dislikes me because they feel that my content is all exactly the same.
I'm good at lying.
And oh, Phil's content's all the same, and he does the same video every single day, and he shouldn't be popular. That's not the case. People hate me for nonsensical reasons, things that are completely stupid or fabricated or completely over exaggerated.
He's talking so much. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Shut up. Just blah 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 blah. Here he comes. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. What are you talking about? Shut up.
This is hilarious. Alright, you guys got to hear this one. Real Bill tipped me $1 and says, "Why are you forcing people to pay $5,000 to tell us that Cat is pregnant?"
Wow. Anything for this, right?
First of all,
anything for this indeed. As it pertains to people hating him for nonsensical reasons, that and the third, he has years upon years of reasons and videos of why people don't like him. Countless lies, countless people that he took advantage of for no good reason. People who provided him with so much money, so much support, and other items and things of that, of those sorts, I should say, and had maybe once or twice thrown some criticism at him, to constructive criticism to try to help the product, and immediately shitted on them and booted them out. Turned the rest of the pig cult against them. Like, that's why when people keep bringing up what's it called, DSP cult leader, the name was fitting, and whoever that was knew what they were talking about. He acts like this hate just came out of nowhere and he's just dealing with it, and he had nothing to do with it. He did everything right. When in actuality, it's him who perpetuates all this. He brings in the negativity because that's his personality. That's how he's always been. It just kept stacking up. More and more pig shit got thrown onto the mound, and the mound got larger and larger until the mound became bigger than him. And instead of addressing the shit and trying to clean it up, he wants to continue to hide it. Oh, there's nothing to see, but what's that naked gun meme? There's nothing to see around here as the firework factory's blowing off and shit, blowing all up and everything in the background. Same shit. Same shit. He's a product of his own laziness and his own ignorance. And he just can't figure out how to do right. He would rather say he's right and let everything go wrong around him than admit that he did wrong and try to fix it.
I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. I never have. Second of all, I haven't announced anything about any kind of a tips goal at all. All right. Third of all, I've said a million fucking times, Cat is not pregnant. Like, I don't know how many times.
He sounds pretty nervous. His voice sounds real shaky through all that. Very, very shaky. Anxious to see how that plays out.
This is so ludicrous. I love the nonsense. It's just funny. Laugh at it. Alright, anyway. Thanks for the $1 tip, Mr. Conspiracy Theory. Let's continue on. Alright, continuing on. Shout out to Bello Bussy Bat, who tipped me $1 and insulted me. Thank you very much for the $1 insult. I love those $1 insults. Those are the best. Because unlike a free insult that you could just do, you tip me $1 to insult me, so now I actually got something out of it, so I appreciate that.
Oh, Phil actually is a really toxic person, so we're just gonna keep saying, why am I toxic? Because it's a meme.
Someone tipped me $1 and basically is being really, like, weird. Saying stuff like, on your days off, what if someone waited for you at the grocery store? Or tried to beat you up in public? It's like, what?
Well, obviously, if you run into me, you're gonna be in trouble.
First of all, that would be completely illegal. I could easily call the police and have the people arrested for either harassment or attacking me. Like, I mean, the bottom line is crime happens no matter what. Alright? Like, it's gonna, and every time I take a step outside of my house, I'm taking a risk. Right? But I think we all do. The good news is that in the 11 years I've been a content creator, not a single person has ever tried to do anything violent towards me or anything.
Okay, first thing is, that Valley Girl accent. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so, as it pertains to if Phil leaves his house, would someone attack him or confront him or so on and so forth? I think someone might confront him, but not in a violent sort of way. You know what I mean? I don't see anybody physically putting hands on him. Not because he's intimidating, not because he provides anything, he has anything to worry about or you have anything to worry about. It's not worth it. Like, I feel like Phil's the type of person where if he's in the grocery store and he sees someone who takes a quick glance at him, he would automatically assume they're a detractor and be scared. That's him. That's his own paranoia. That hurts him more than anything. Now, going on to further that point, Phil says that whenever you leave your house, you're taking a risk. Yeah, you're taking a risk. Anytime you leave your home, you could die. All adults know that. Do you think about that? No, because that's not living. That's not living. Anything could happen to you almost anywhere. If you worry about every little thing, you're more worried about self-preservation than actually living. And if that's the case, you're not living anymore, you're existing. Which is exactly what Phil does. Phil only leaves the house when he has to, and he will only do it with somebody else. I mean, hell, if you look at some of the trips that he's taken over the years, he really doesn't go anywhere without somebody else. He's been a scared, pathetic little punk for a very, very long time. It's just in his nature. It's just what he is. So having a detractor run up on him seems amusing, to say the least. But that doesn't mean he hasn't tried to use that excuse before. Let's go back to the evil AJ situation with the "This is how you don't play." Phil was the one who ended up coining that meme response that, I don't know if this guy's going to come up to my fucking condo, this is back when he was in Connecticut, and break in here and try to murder me. Over a "This is how you don't play," bruh? Over a video game? Alright, man. Alright. So, that's the over-under when it comes to Phil. If anybody confronted him, it would be meme-ish as shit, but no one's going to try to hurt him. Most people probably wouldn't even come out and say who they are in most situations. You got to be pretty bold to do some shit like that. But I would. But I'd like to think, though, that, hey, Phil, how you doing? I assume the moment he hears my voice, he's going to know who I am. I would say that for most people. But with that being said, it is what it is. No one's going to put no hands on him. No one's going to pressure him. There's no need to. You know what I mean? There's no need to. I don't want to see a grown man piss himself in the fucking fetal position in the produce aisle, with Cat just looking down at him all scared. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. Cat don't want to see that. The guy in the produce department don't want to see that. No one wants to see that. You know what I'm saying? As funny as it would be, no one wants to see that shit. I would post pictures of that shit on Twitter, but I don't want to see that. No one does. No one does. So it's an afterthought. It's just something that keeps going through Phil's head and people jabbing him with it because it's funny. But it's not going to happen.
Like that. I don't think that people take it that far. I think that there are some people who hate my guts and will do everything they can do anonymously on the internet to hate me. But I don't think there's anyone who's ever going to step up and say, oh, I'm going to try to find Phil in real life and beat the shit out of him, man. You know?
But it's not hard to find you. It's not hard to find you at all. Here, this is just me going off the dome. I have not put I promise you, I have not put no time or research into any of this. He's only off on 1 day a week. Sometimes 2, depending on what Cat demands. We know what those days off are. We know what time Phil gets up. Probably 9:30. Because on his days off, he wants to go and eat breakfast. And he wants to go off somewhere and do that. So he's going to have to get into whatever mom and pop shop he's going to. He has to be in there before, or at least by 10. By 10:15 at the latest. Gets breakfast. I assume he eats breakfast somewhere between 10:30 to 11:15. From 10:30 to 11:15 straight to the mall. You can probably catch him in there at any given time. While he's in the mall, he's probably going to pick a place to eat. I assume that's somewhere between that's 1:45, 2 o'clock, probably closer to 2:30. After going around, hitting some random shops or so on and so forth, I assume they probably going. I don't think they go and see movies, even though Phil never really says anything. He says he can't afford it, which is a blatant lie. But let's go ahead and fast forward another hour or two of window shopping and probably some real shopping. I say they probably go and get themselves a bite to eat. I'd say that's probably between 5:30, closer to 6 o'clock. And then home, knee deep in some gin, and just chilling on the couch. Now, all of that is based strictly off of his activities on Twitter, given some of the time frames that he has over there. I'm basing it completely off that and what he says on his days off. Is it accurate? No, probably not. But I'm pretty close. Because since we know for sure, because he's told us, that he does like going out for breakfast on his days off, and that's something he's done even with Panda, and giving the time frame of the mom and pop spots around the way that serve breakfast, I would assume he has to be there before 11. Certainly there before 10:30. That's your starting point. After that, you can pretty much figure everything else out, given driving distance and so on and so forth. It's not hard.
No justification for that whatsoever. It would be a major crime, you know, like, I don't think anyone's going to do that. Everyone who's ever met me in person has been very gracious and nice, you know. Can I get a picture? Can I shake your hand? Can I get an autograph? Just wanted to say hello. I don't want to take up your time with you and your wife. Awesome. Thank you for being respectful, and have a good day. Good to meet you. That's how it's always been, my interactions with people who I met in person. I'm not going to live my life in constant fear that some nut job is going to try to find out where I am and come get me. You know what I mean? Trans500 tipped me $1 and said, give us your thoughts on the character Poison having a big marble sack design. Is it appropriate for gaming having this? I don't care. I don't care. Number 1, I don't care about Street Fighter V at all, as I've already said. Number 2, I don't care if a character has a giant bulge in their crotch or not. I'm not playing games to look for someone's dick. I don't give a shit. The only reason I would care is if it was a competitive fighting game and the dick came out during a special move and was overpowered. So if Poison had the giant dick bomb attack that insta-kills an enemy and it's cheap and unfair, then maybe I would care. I don't care. I don't care about this. Oh
yeah, he took that. Oh boy.
My God. People are weird, man. All right, let's continue.
I'm out. I'm fully out of the closet, as you guys know. I'm out of the closet. Fully out of the closet.
Yeah, we already talked about that in the last broadcast, so you know what my thoughts are on it. All he just keeps doing is reinforcing it.
Yeah. Great. And you can't even make a mistake. If you make one mistake, it's normal difficulty. Make one mistake, you can't win the race. Fucking gay. It's so bad. It's so badly made. Still has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.
Let's go ahead and end it on that, shall we? Alright, let's go ahead and let's see here. Let's get set back up. And what is going to be our music choice? And we'll go with what we did yesterday. Oh boy, my bad. Alright, cool. Alright guys, so there we go on that. Oh boy, that was crazy. Alright, so the thing about Ninja, overall, ladies and gentlemen, it's business. You know what I'm saying? It's real business. It's not a bunch of people. It's a bunch of people who have worked extremely hard over the years, who have broken themselves out of the employee-type mannerisms and mindset and moved themselves into being actual business, actually conducting a business of oneself and establishing a brand and trying to see that brand grow. I think you're going to find that Twitch is just a launching point, and it's a good launching point, but it's a launching point. Just because Mixer doesn't have the publicity that Twitch doesn't have, that Twitch has, doesn't mean that Microsoft, right, and Xbox as a brand can't help propel people. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is yet again the bigger picture. Okay, you have Mixer. Through Mixer, you have Microsoft. Well, through Mixer, you have Microsoft. Through Microsoft, you have the Xbox brand. Through there, access to God knows how many games coming out early, access to consoles early, the ability to go to their testing facilities and give your feedback on it as a streamer, so on and so forth. It opens up a whole new, it opens up a whole new level and a whole new landscape when it comes to the gaming aspect of it. Then you get into the business and branding aspect. You have Pepsi, Coke, Doritos, so on and so forth. You have all those different brands, and then you can continue to expand off through that. You know what I'm saying? Like it literally, if you look at the overall, and if you look at some of the, if you can, for a second, don't worry about silly ass little perks and stop worrying about short-term money and look at the long term. It's profitable. You know what I mean? And then with the understanding that in a couple of years, if it didn't work out, he's still got a boatload of cash and he can go back to Twitch. Because despite how Twitch may feel now, they'll take him back if he comes back. They can't necessarily afford not to. So, and to further establish that point, he's continuing to open up doors, as he did on Twitch, on Mixer for those who will come later. And people will remember him for that. Just like how people remember him for what he did on Twitch. Now, him being advertised over all those other people's channels for the New Year shit, kind of stupid. I think it was kind of dumb. Blatant favoritism as well as some other things. But he was the biggest guy coming off of the whole Drake situation, or the whole Drake experience, if you will. So it made sense to ride out the popularity that he already had. Same concept. Now, some people believe that Twitch ended up actually making that deal happen, or actually orchestrated that as a publicity stunt between Drake and Ninja and whoever the other one or two guys that were in that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but either which way, it was good marketing. So going to Mixer is just another thing. My only thing is when Ninja was being a little bitch and complaining about how Drake used him for his popularity, I bet you he regrets that shit now, because eventually he's going to be in a boardroom right across from Drake. And now Drake is someone definitely about his business, so he's willing to let shit go, you know what I'm saying, overlook shit, if you will. But if any of you guys have ever had a handshake from someone who you used to be cool with that you're not cool with anymore, or someone who doesn't like you or whatnot, or someone gives you daps, you know what it's like when someone gives you daps and they give a shit about you, and someone who don't. You know the difference. At least some people do. So take that for what you will. Let's see here. Oh, and as for his content's trash. His content's trash. His streams are nothing more than just a recycled version of his older YouTube videos from 2009 to up to 2011, except for they're not nearly as entertaining because he can't be the complete total nut that he used to be. And he's more worried about the detractors, the trolls, and the haters. Sorry, I call them critics now, but you know what I mean. He's worried about the detractors and the critics now over his own content, because he doesn't even want to do his content. He hates games. He hates these people who give him money. He just wants the money. Just give him the money. He doesn't give a shit about any of you, and people will figure it out. Slowly but surely, but they'll figure it out. And why not? Most of them are slow anyway. If they were going to let Phil treat them like pieces of shit for years on end, I'm sorry. You can't just give Phil money year in, year out and listen to how he talks to you guys, and listen to how he treats you people, and think that's okay. Or say, oh, he's just having a bad day. Oh, he just got a lot of stress on his mind right now. Sounds like battered wife syndrome to me. Sounds like battered wife syndrome to me. And if you guys want to sit there and continue to be weak to someone who's weaker than you, good luck. You have my best on that. For everybody else, there's life after Phil. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. Don't forget to grab your Starbucks or your Snort Bucks on the way out. I would say there's a tip jar, but there isn't, so sorry. You guys showing up, I think, is gracious enough, so I very much appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on at GTG Network and Productions. I've been your host, /anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. And remember, this whole broadcast is sponsored by Snort Bucks. Snort Bucks. A taste of desperation, salt, and rage in every single drop. Take care of yourselves, guys. Oh, man.
Street Fighter 2, that is my dope. Dark Cloud 2, that is the new. I like RPGs and everything. Metal Gear Solid, man, that's my swing. Hey. And it don't stop.